Thank you, fellas. I get. I read one of the comments. I don't get a chance to read all the comments because, or most of them, because I just don't have the time. Jason, that edits the videos, put them up, and set up the backgrounds, and that's his job. My job is to try my best to export the experience and wisdom I have for so many years in the business. But you know, you guys really make me feel good when you tell me making a comeback. It really gets me. I get a charge out of that. It charges me up to want to do more exporting of all my experience. Because you see, my friends, I don't care if you're 10 to 80. Life is one-way trip. There's no round trip. You see, I've done my thing in bodybuilding. I made the name. I was fired up when I was young. I feel good because I know I'll go down in the history books where guys with much better bodies than me, you never have again. Reason why? I was the first. I was the first. I know when Joe Weider's expert measured my arm, and Joe said, take off your shirt and let David Willoughby measure your arm. I just took off my shirt. It was really 21 1/4 inches. And I was like, huh? I didn't realize it myself. I knew it was growing, but I didn't realize it jumped that high. Dave couldn't believe it because he was supposed to be the expert on how big you can grow based on your bone size. He thought a 21-inch arm was beyond the capacity of man to maintain that muscle. That's why I say, my friends, be careful of the prevailing wisdom. Everybody, David Willoughby was to tell you what your potential was, and getting your arm big and was by measuring your wrist and all this kind of stuff, which is immaterial. But when you say make a comeback, my friends, this is the biggest comeback I can make. I couldn't make a better comeback. Hey, I look at myself, my friends, and I say muscle memory. Because I make my bicep and I can't be honest, because I'm not just into that. I mean, you can't be fired up all your life in something. You got to let life run its course. Your enthusiasm, I don't have, but in any case, when I look, I say, damn, if I could train and focus on just training and eating well and sleeping, God, I wonder what I could do. I see these guys at my age would have to run for cover. But you know something, my friends? These guys are settled into that. Now, you take my good friend Jim Harrington. He's married. He's got a structural life. And he takes all his focusing on building his body, maintaining his health, which is beautiful. I can't do that. I'm not married. Taking care of yourself is a big-time job because I'm not the type of guy that have a donut and a cup of coffee. I'm not a donut and a cup of coffee man. I'm a guy that wants to live as best I can. I don't smoke, don't drink, none of that stuff. And I'm aging, if I must say, gracefully. I still got a lot of vim and vigor. But I love you guys, I really do, because I grew up with you. And the reason I say I grew up with you, because I've been in this, you look on all the videos, there's nobody around my age that is articulating to you like I am now. And it gives me a good feeling. I'm making the biggest comeback, my friends, that I ever made in my life, because I'm giving back. When I was running my stores for over 50 years, I enjoyed the stars, the movie stars, the personalities that came in the store and so forth. But it was burning your friend out. It's so up. When you're running a retail business, no 9 to 5. Sometimes I was working 15 hours a day, and it got to me. So I walked away. I'm focusing on now exporting, and I don't make any money from this. I'm not doing this. I'm not selling anything now. I may do a little later, but now I'm not selling anything. But the biggest comeback I can make, because my friends, think about it. Suppose I devoted myself to training, okay? And I got, for my age, sensational. But who is it for, my friends? Who's benefiting from that? Leroy. That's all. But I look at Leroy. But I looked at Leroy for so many years. Now I look at you. And I export what could be better? I'm exporting my experience and my training wisdom to thousands of guys I never would be able to if I was busy trying to get back in shape for who. Saying, I sometimes be honest with you fellas, I do think about it. I say, Jesus, boy, if I started training, what I'd look like for the day. I mean, of course, I wouldn't be prize winning, but I'd look sensational for my age. Because I look at the arm and I'm surprised because I don't train consistently. I train when the spirit hits me because I don't have that motivation. What am I training for? Just to keep the circulation going and keeping the body working. But it's a great feeling to realize that the muscle memory is there. I tell you, fellas, a lot of guys don't. It's such a thing as muscle memory. I'm a perfect example of muscle memory because I do practically nothing actually as far as training, and I make the bicep and look at the chest and I say, damn, it's still there. I'm not gonna tell you I don't do anything, but what I do, you can't maintain anything of what I do. But right now, my friends, I appreciate so much. One of the comments on Mr. Yorkie Lover was make up all the big DVDs you can on your training and your wisdom because they don't expect me to be around that long when you get my age. And I tell you something, a lot of guys that I thought, I outlived my son. And I never thought, so you can't be, what keeps you going to say you're going to live and die at old age, but it doesn't always work that way. But I'm making the biggest comeback, my friends, than I ever made in my life because I'm giving something back. It's no longer just for me. I didn't have time to do what I'm doing now. I remember when Jason first got me into this, and he was the one who told me to do videos. I rejected it for a while. I said, come on, I don't want to be bothered because I was too busy. But I only did it for him as a friend, and then it progressed from there. And he always come, why don't you do a video on this? Why don't you do a video? And we got involved in it. Otherwise, I would have a video today. I mean, I have what you call two little backups. Jason does the editing and uploading and so forth, and I do the windbagging. And then I have a good friend that I started years ago, Joe Nemick. I really, because he tells me, why don't you do this? He critiques everything and, keep me more or less focused. These two guys, of course, Jason is the guy, that's his channel, and he puts up my videos. And he, edits them and put up the presentation because I'm really not interested in all that stuff, and I just don't have to, he's the motivation behind all of this. But I just want to tell you, my friends, I know what you're saying because it tweaks me every time. I wonder what I would be like if I could devote myself just to training and sleeping and resting. But for what, my friends? I keep saying, for who? What I'm doing this for is for all the thousands of guys that appreciate my wisdom. And knowing when they hook on to Leroy Colbert's channel, or Leroy Colbert, Mr. Yorkie Lover, and they hook on to that, they know they're going to get the 411. They're not, if they're looking for to laugh and giggle and all, that's not me. I'm not an entertainment channel, even though I may be a little funny, but I'm not an entertainment channel. I'm an information channel. So I have made my comeback, my friends. I'm making this video to let you know the biggest comeback I could ever make, the biggest, is exporting my experience and wisdom to you. Otherwise, what kind of comeback? What I'm not. There's no comeback. I can't go back to what I was. So where's comeback? And if I did go, in those days it was all self-gratification and glory. Now it's exporting all my wisdom to my friends. So thank you so much for thinking so highly of me, and I really appreciate it. But I'm going to make all the videos for my DVD friends as I can, so when I do kick the bucket, I'll have a little history on the videos, because I got a history on the bodybuilding already. I got a history on my nutritional stores. Now I'll get a history on the videos. My friends, I'd like to end all my windbagging to you by saying to be continued. It's going to be continuation of my experience to you, to be continued.